Defeat of Og, king of Bashan. And I keep looking because this is the first time, and I'm using a recording thing, and I don't an app, and I don't know if it's still recording. So I appreciate your patience because you're like, what is he looking at? What is he looking at besides the window? Defeat of Og, king of Bashan. Next, we turned and went up along the road toward Bashan, and Og, king of Bashan, with his whole army, marched out to meet us in battle at Edrei. The Lord said to me, "Do not be afraid of him, for I have handed him over to you with his whole army and his land. Do not do to him what you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon." So the Lord our God also gave into our hands Og, king of Bashan, and all his army. We struck them down, leaving no survivors. At that time, we took all his cities. There was not one of the 60 cities that we did not take from them. The whole region of Argob, Og's kingdom in Bashan. All these cities were fortified with high walls and with gates and bars, and there were also a great many unwalled villages. We completely destroyed them, as we had done with Sihon, king of Heshbon, destroying every city, men, women, and children, but all the livestock and the plunder from their cities were carried off for ourselves. Another thing, whenever the Israelites took over or went to war as they were supposed to, they didn't die. They didn't have any casualties. So that just shows you that the Lord was battling for them. The Lord was preparing them. The Lord was out there doing the work. They just had to show up. That tells us a lot, even about ourselves. Um, does that give us strength? Does that give you strength to know that what you've been asked to do or what you're tasked to do, if you don't know it, or maybe you do know it, or you think you know it, that the Lord's already at work? The Lord's already doing his will. The Lord's at work, and he's just waiting on you, to catch up. so so at that time, we took from these two kings of the Amorites the territory east of the Jordan, from the Arnon Gorge as far as Mount Harmon. Harmon is called Siron by the Sidonians. The Amorites call it Sinir. We took all the towns on the plateau in all Gilead and all Bashan as far as Selikah and Edrei, towns of Og's kingdom in Bashan. Only Og, king of Bashan, was left of the remnant of the Rephaites. His bed was made of iron and was more than 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. It is still in Rabbah of the Ammonites. That says a lot about the king Og. So again, they completely took over all the cities, including all the fortified cities. So they're starting to do what the Lord had asked them to do. So let's continue to read. Divisions of the land. Of the land that we took over at that time, I gave the Reubenites and the Gadites the territory north of Aurora by the Arnon Gorge, including half the hill country of Gilead, together with its towns, the rest of Gilead, and also all of Bashan. The kingdom of Og I gave to the half tribe of Manasseh. The whole region of Argob and Bashan used to be known as the land of the Rephaites. Jar, a descendant of Manasseh, took the whole region of Argob as far as the border of the Cusherites and the Maccathites. It was named after him, so that to this day Bashan is called Hevoth Jar. And I gave Gilead to Machir, but to the Reubenites and the Gadites I gave the territory extending from Gilead down to the Arnon Gorge, the middle of the gorge being the border, and out to the Jabbok River, which is the border of the Ammonites. Its western border was the Jordan in the Arabah, from Gennereth to the sea of the Arabah, the Salt Sea, below the slopes of Pisgah. I commanded you at that time, the Lord your God has given you this land to take possession of it. But all the able-bodied men armed for battle must cross over ahead of your ahead of your brother Israelites. However, your wives, your children, and your livestock, I know you have much livestock, may stay in the towns I have given you until the Lord gives rest to your brothers as he has to you, and they too have taken over the land that the Lord your God has given them across the Jordan. After that, each of you may go back to the possession I have given you. So the remember, two of the tribes plus half the tribe of Manasseh decided to stay on the current side of the Jordan and not cross over to the east side, and so they decided to go or to the other side. So they decided to um, take their possession on that current side. However, they were told, remember that they were told that they needed to battle with their brothers until the rest of the tribe of Israel was able to take over their portion of the promised land. And so that was the agreement, and that's what they were going to do. Um, if you remember that portion from the previous Bible study, what kind of thoughts come to mind about that? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?